Welcome to another episode of Pilot Talks with Train to Catch Planes. I'm your host, Brian Christopher. Pilot Talks is where we have impactful conversations with business owners, brand builders, and entrepreneurs to help us all go further faster. Who doesn't want to go further faster, man? So let's get ready to buckle our seatbelts. Let's lean into this conversation and prepare for takeoff. Listen, if you're anything like me, you've probably had a season or two in your life where you were winning, but deep down you knew you were playing small. You were operating, yes, executing, yes, grinding, yes, but not fully stepping into the level you were capable of. Today's guest has built for 14 plus years across digital transformation, private equity strategy, real estate, co-living, and investing. But what stands out most isn't just what he's built, it's the mindset. Play bigger. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome my guest. Mr. Antwon Davis is in the building.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Glad to be here, man.
Man, listen, bro, I'm super grateful for you being here. I'm super excited for the conversation we're going to have, man. Sure. I consider you to be one of the thought leaders of this generation. I've watched you from afar for many years, man. I've seen your, of course, ascent into just everything that you've been doing, man. I've been inspired from a distance. Up until recently, we've been able to kind of begin a collaborative effort, man. And I'm super excited for that. But, man, I'm just grateful for you to be here, man. Welcome to Train to Catch Planes, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Long time coming. Glad to be here, man. Same for me. I've watched your journey as well and seen you live out that mission statement. So same thing. Just heart goes out to the work you've been doing.
Come on, man. Sure. Indeed, man. So before we get started, take some time just to quickly introduce yourself to the audience. Tell them what you do, how you do it. Well, not how you do it, not just yet, but what you do, who you are. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So my name is Antwon Davis. I like to consider myself as a businessman, investor. I've been in the marketplace for over 15 years. You know, I actually started while I was in college at Georgia State. I went to pursue a degree in marketing. And literally, while I was in college, I started my first business as a graphic designer. I was freelancing. And so just, you know, things transpired from there. And I've built a couple of companies. One in particular is Fourth Park, as you had mentioned. And we're like a digital transformation partner. So we focus on servicing like private equity firms, venture capital firms, basically assisting them with differentiating their portfolio of companies. And so like we've been working with a lot of companies that have gotten funded for many years, and now we're focusing on the actual companies that invest into those companies and partnering with them. And then I also run a real estate firm where we acquire properties and convert them into co-living. And I got onto the co-living wave. This was back in like 2017, 2018, before it became like a trendy thing in the US. I was studying co-living in the UK. It was more popular in Europe. And there were a few companies that were doing it here in like California, New York, but there was nothing going on co-living down south. So just always just trying to be on the cutting edge of what's going on, even in a small way, while thinking bigger and playing bigger. So that's me. Just always been interested in investing in the markets, and just building companies.
You said thinking bigger in a small way. What does that mean, man? That was like a huge statement that you just kind of threw in there. So, and I want to explore that just a little bit.
I know. I was like, what did I say?
Yeah.
So I think it's like the play bigger mentality for me can happen even when you are in a smaller segment of the market. Like a lot of times I think when you're starting out, people always say, everything starts from small beginnings, but sometimes you could be moving from a lateral standpoint where you're making kind of lateral steps at a time versus looking at leverage. How can I create a multiple on what I'm doing? Like, how do I scale this idea, or how do I even step into the market to play a bigger opportunity than when I'm playing? And I think like you could be playing bigger in your market in a way where you might not necessarily be big in terms of popularity, but your revenue could be showing that. You may be big in terms of your ability to make impact. I know several people in the nonprofit space who do a lot of work on the grounds, but they might not necessarily be as known socially or publicly, but they get a lot of work done. People in the community know who they are. So for me, that's like a play bigger mentality. There are different ways you can do that. And so that's what I mean by like, you may be small, but still playing a bigger game, because eventually that smallness will catch up to the mindset, Yeah.
Man, that's a lot. That's huge, man. You talk a lot about mindset, just in that piece, in that portion. Where did Antwon discover the mindset that he plays with now? Was this always just a thing, or I guess I'm asking a little bit for your origin story.
Right.
Where did this monster come from?
Right. Well, I'm an Aquarius, so that's so. First off, we're known for being like trailblazers, rebellious in terms of our thinking. We move with a level of like autonomy. We're kind of like sovereign in the way that we kind of think. So I think even as a child, I've always just been curious, just like, what is this? Why are we doing this? I'm the youngest child and grandchild in my family. So I got to grow up and watch my sister, my brother, all of my cousins, my aunts and uncles grow up in front of me. And they were all like human case studies. So I'm like watching them, watching my grandma give them wisdom, and some not apply it, some do apply it, So I've just always been curious. I'm like a deep observer. I'm always looking for patterns of behavior. So when I went to Georgia State, I majored in marketing, and what was fascinating about marketing to me was just studying like human psychology, how people think. Why do we do what we do? Why do we spend the way we spend? Why do we shop? Just understanding human behavior and identifying those kind of patterns, and then taking those same ways of thinking and using that as a way to stand up these business ideas. Like, how do I create these systems and operations that can solve problems for people, understanding how they're thinking and behaving, and then taking that and building an agency that can service companies to help them position themselves to do that for their clients and customers. So just over time, I've just always been like hella curious about things, just kind of questioning. I like to say I'm always at war with my ignorance. Like, it's something I don't know.
Say it again.
I'm always at war with my ignorance. It's something I don't know, or someone I don't know, that can help me see bigger, think differently, play bigger, even just in terms of my day-to-day activities. A lot of times you don't really know your capacity until you get around somebody that is playing big on a bigger level. So for me, it's like, if I don't have that person in the room or in close proximity, I'm online like every day, like looking for new thought leaders and new perspectives to help me see something I don't see.
Yeah.
Because if I can close that gap to ignorance, I'll go further faster as well. And then I can help others do the same. Like, I always tell people, like, if I know it, you know it. Like, whatever information I got, you can have, except for my social security number. You can't get access to that. But other than that, like, the information can be passed around. And now with AI, I think it's so easy now to accelerate that closing of the gap of ignorance. Because I'm on ChatGPT every day. Now Chat is my new thought leader, / mentor, advisor, consultant. Like, we are doing net new thinking, net new ideas every day. I'm just like, okay, help me see this. And what is the missed opportunity? Show me this here that nobody else is talking about. Help me understand this. Yeah. Like, I'm always curious. And I think that has kept me, hungry and passionate about the things that I do. Is just knowing that there's always more to know, Yeah.
Beautiful, man. You've obviously been an entrepreneurial spirit. Were there other entrepreneurial inspirations in your life, or are you a trailblazer when it comes to that?
So entrepreneur spirit. There is someone I would shout out who was my first entrepreneur mentor while I was in high school. His name is Vincent Hunt, and I met him in Albany, Georgia, from Albany, Georgia, small city Albany. And we met at my church at the time, and he was running. He had moved in from out of town, and just was running the creative at the church. I was just fascinated by just the way he thought. So he was kind of the person that took me under his wing and helped to bring some guidance around my curiosity at the time. And so actually I got my design skills. I wouldn't say I got my skills from him, but he helped me take what I was trying to figure out and show me how to use the right software. I wasn't even using I was using some like crazy design software that I bought from Circuit City. Called like the Logo Creator. It was like crazy.
Hey, shout out to Circuit City.
Circuit City.
And the Logo Creator.
Right. It was $39.99. Wow. And he was like, bro, you got to use this. Let me show you the Adobe suite. Wow. And so he put me on game on that. So he was somebody that helped guide me in terms of that path. But in terms of like entrepreneurship, I'm the first known entrepreneur on either side of my family, on my mom's side and my dad's side. So I just kind of had to get it out the mud for real, like started from the bottom kind of energy, and just place myself around people and in proximity to people who were playing bigger. And that's another word that I think is a big word for me is proximity. It's like, how do you play bigger when you don't really know what bigger looks like? It's like get in proximity to that. And some of that is physical proximity. Some of it is social or digital proximity. You know, getting to a place where you're around. Like I was like years ago, I started watching Gary Vaynerchuk back in 2008. He was like, stop doing you hate. And I started following him back then and was just fascinated by how he was thinking and talking. And he was like our first like social media guru at that time.
Yep, for sure.
And so I followed him for many years. I actually had a chance to meet him and he signed the book, his first book, Crush It. But for me, that's what it's been, proximity to people who are playing bigger, thinking bigger throughout their journey.
That's beautiful, man. So in this journey, and we're talking about, I mean, playing bigger is a mindset.
Right.
Has there ever been a time in your journey where maybe you were playing too small?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Plenty of times. You know, it's so funny because I look back at this podcast episode years from now and I'll reflect on the season I'm in now and realize there may have been an area in which I was thinking too small.
Hey, man. I almost threw this phone. You see, this is why I say, my guy, Antwon, is a thought leader. He said, we're going to look back on this podcast, specifically this day, this time, this season, and we will identify an area.
Right.
Talk about it, man. Keep going.
Yeah, so one area, man. So, for example, when I started Fourth Park, I started as a graphic designer first. You know, I was at Georgia State, majoring in marketing. I was doing graphic design. Matter of fact, my first paid client was New Birth. Bishop Long was the pastor at the time. So I was a college ministry. I was one of the student leaders for Georgia State at New Birth. And they didn't have any graphics person for the college ministry. So I'm like, I'll volunteer and just do whatever. And then they were like, well, we want to pay you. So I invoiced them. They paid me or whatever. That was the first paid client that I got was New Birth. And so I basically started with churches and that just kind of evolved over time. But here's the problem. I became a technician by trade. I was so focused on mastering the skill of being a great designer that I locked myself into the skill. I became an operator. And so I could only see the lens of, okay, the next phase is I need to start this business. But I was still designing in the business. I brought on another graphic designer with me and I was so focused on operating the business. For me, I look at it like this. I was so busy trying to perfect the one leaf on the tree. I had no idea there was a forest. I didn't even know what level I could be playing at running a creative agency. I was like the graphic design guy for so many years, doing some project management, managing a small team. And it was like, now looking back on that in hindsight, I hired on a project manager some years back who basically that was like the first hire that really unlocked stuff because it allowed me to step away from the day-to-days of like dealing with the client and the projects. And it's like I could have did this on day one. Like had I focused less on me being a great designer and focused on me more so being great at building this system, building this operation, what butts do I need to put in the right seats that can help me scale this? Let me focus on how I can create enterprise value. Like even from a clientele standpoint, I was playing smaller even than the clients I was going after starting out. You don't know what you don't know. You know, that's a lot of, you just don't know the caliber you could play at. And now looking back at it, I mean, man, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't even have, I mean, I can't do that at that age, but knowing what I know now, I wouldn't even start an agency. I would just buy one. So like moving away from building to buying. So like buy and scale versus build and scale. Like why don't let's figure out how I can acquire this and then add value to it, scale it, and then sell it, and then, rinse and repeat. Like just even understanding that, like from the private equity side, I'm fascinated with like alternative assets and alternative investments, private equity, private
when we
capital.
say private equity, explain private equity.
So private equity is a model by which you take capital to buy. Sometimes you can buy entities or businesses wholly. So private equity is basically you are a private firm. It's not public facing as in on the trademark on the stock market. You're not trading publicly on the stock market, but it could be you can gather around investors and you can acquire a business wholly or a portion of a business, and that becomes a part of your portfolio. So private equity has been around for many, many years, many, many decades. A lot of the brands that we know of are not owned by the founder. A lot of companies, especially when you look at like food brands. A lot of the fast food restaurants, a lot of the places we eat, they're owned by some type of holding company. So there's several like private equity firms that own a lot of these things. I mean, we know like Berkshire Hathaway with Warren Buffett. He's like a well-known, investor, but their company goes, they do a lot of stuff, but they'll go and they'll buy the company entirely. Like they own Dairy Queen, so you hear about, I think they still own, I don't know if they still do or not, but private equity, when you start to really get into this side of the world where people are no longer in the operating of like products and services, they're in the operating of capital. Like they're in the actual structuring of capital. So they pool resources together to invest in, whether from a venture capital side or a private equity side, or you either vesting a portion or buying a company all the way out. And then you're bringing resources to the table to optimize those businesses for scale, and then you sell them in the future at a higher return. And that's going on every day in the market. But like, I didn't even know that was a thing, so some of that stuff is like, where is my attention at? Because I'm literally putting 10,000 hours into something. So, and at what level am I putting it in at? Or what level am I playing at? And so for me, it's just, as I've continued to be curious from my childhood, just continuing to look around like, what is this? The richest black man in America runs a private equity firm, Robert Smith. He runs, I think Vista, I think it's called Vista Capital, Vista Equity. That's a private equity firm. He invests in software companies, software as a service, SaaS companies. And you wouldn't even know to look there, Matter of fact, Forbes just put out this list about 2 weeks ago. It's like the top 50 black leaders of private equity and VC firms.
Wow.
Like, we don't even know this is going on. We have no idea, So for me, it's like, start, like I said, the small thing is like, okay, I'm a graphic designer. I just am doing my skill to like exchange my time for dollars. And that's a level, and not saying that nothing is right or wrong. It's just understanding there's levels to things. And knowing what I know now, I think there are things that I would have done differently, but I'm glad I went on that journey to see the things that I've seen and know the things that I know, because I'm still young. I'm like 39. I got a lot more time to go. Sure. So just the ability to see things differently and play a bigger game, I think that's just available to all of us. And, if you go back 3 years ago, we didn't have ChatGPT. We didn't have AI. Now we have this freaking tool in our hand that has such a massive level of knowledge and information that in a matter of a second, just through a level of deep curiosity, you can unearth a way to play bigger in any area that you're in. Who do I need to talk to? Who do I need to know? Where I need to go? Give me the steps. Tell me what to say. Help me figure it out. And I think like this is such a great time right now to be hella curious, to have a desire to play bigger. And I think we just have the tools now that we didn't have to accelerate. And it's especially, I would say, in the next 36 to 48 months, the next 3 to 4 years is a great opportunity for some of us to make some leveraged moves, not lateral moves in our careers.
Wow. Listen, man, again, brother, a lot was said, a lot of value you were given. A few things that stuck out to me. Staying curious. That's huge.
Right.
You said you're going to put 10,000 hours somewhere.
Regardless.
What's so important about that 10,000 hours? We hear about 10,000 hours.
Right.
Some people may not really even know what that means. Right. What does that mean to you, that 10,000?
So there's this author, thought leader, researcher, Malcolm Gladwell. He wrote this book several years ago called Outliers, and he went and studied some of the highest performing individuals, one in sports, but in other industries. So you look at people like a LeBron James, a Michael Jordan, a Tiger Woods, a Serena Williams. All of those are black people, which I'm proud to say we show up. We show up and show out. But when you look at high performing individuals, what he found that was a common denominator between all of these high performing individuals was this thing that he called the 10,000 hour rule, that somewhere at that threshold, a person achieves a level of greatness. It's almost like you can now see them actually playing bigger in the industry. So it's like 10,000 hours of uninterrupted obsession on something. It's a very laser focused, because here's the thing about our generation and the younger ones coming up. Everybody's trying to find the quick win. And you'll see over time, you'll look over the span of your career and you will have made a lot of lateral moves here, a lot of starts and stops, and you wouldn't have invested time in obsession. You have to like put your attention in an area to really master something. And that 10,000 hour rule to me is like just a benchmark for greatness. That anybody that we know that has achieved the level of greatness that we respect, you know, like I think what the other night, the Actors Award or something, I can't remember.
Yep.
That came out, and Michael B. Jordan won like best male actor of the year. You know, he gets up there and gives his speech, and it's just like for us, it's like a no-brainer. Why? Because we've seen a man who has played bigger. We've seen a person who has put those kind of hours in, probably multiple 10,000 of hours, multiple 10,000 of hours into a thing to develop his craft at that level. And I don't know. For me, not only am I inspired by it, I liken myself to it. Because I don't, you know how some people just see people doing great things and can applaud them at a distance? I see it and it's just like, I see myself in it. It's just like, I too can also achieve and be great in what I'm doing. And it's going to require that level of obsession and focus. And I'm still in that journey. I've put in thousands of hours in my industry, and there will be thousands of hours more. There are other areas that I'm interested in evolving into as I'm kind of maneuvering, that I'll be putting 10,000 hours or more in that as well. So that's what it means. I just think it's an easy rule to remember, even though you may not necessarily quantify it in your mind. It's kind of like thinking of it as like, where are you giving your attention for the next several years, not just quick fix wins, you know, where you're looking over time and you just made lateral moves, you're just moving all around, but you haven't made any kind of you haven't achieved a multiple in your career where you can actually see true success, you know, so.
Yeah, that's good, man. Multiple to actually achieve true success. What about the person, man, who maybe struggles with not knowing that they're playing beneath their capability? So how does this person identify, one, what their capability is, and then how do they rise to that capability? That's
good. That's good. Yeah, there's this thing that I hear often in like the tech space, like, you know, because I follow like tech founders and VC firms that invest in like tech companies, and something that they talk about a lot is like, you could be, let's say on a scale of like 1 to 10, 10 being like absolute greatness or like superior greatness or eliteness in a craft. You could be a level 5 skill and a level 2 opportunity and not even know it. Like you could literally have a average skill and a below average opportunity, you know, or you could be a person in an amazing opportunity, but you don't have the skill and you don't really know it. I think this goes back to the proximity issue. If you don't have a reference point, i.e. mentor or mentors, i.e. placing yourself amongst a network of people who are potentially in a similar field. Like if you have nothing to, I don't want to say compare in a way you're trying to compare yourself to someone where it creates a comparison trap, but if you have no way to gauge where you are in your ability, you don't really know. You don't have a reference point. It's the equivalent to like, you don't know how skilled you are as a basketball player until you start practicing alongside LeBron. You joining the Lakers and now you in practice, and now you really start to see what practice looks like. You think you know, you don't know you can sing, until you get next to a Taylor Brene and you realize like, oh my God, I thought I was hitting some runs. You know what I'm saying? Like I've listened to artists like I remember the song that came out with Chris Brown and Chris Brown and August Alsina. And I was just thinking like, I wonder how August Alsina felt being on the track with Chris.
No, for real.
When Chris get on, know he go deliver.
Do it.
You don't really know your potential until you get around proximity to that. So I think like for an individual who's just kind of like, because we're all trying to figure it out. Let's not lie about it. Like we're all still navigating, trying to figure out, where we're going. We're all still becoming. If you still have breath in your lungs, you're still becoming something. And so that curiosity to me, I think is very important. Like if you're just at home or watching this, like, I don't know. One, you have ChatGPT. Get curious using that, asking questions, feeding it information about yourself. Like, okay, I'm in this city. Like, what do you think? Well, nah, boo, ain't hardly nobody that'll go buy that. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's 400,000 people doing hair on your block. Nobody needs that. Like, you need reference points. You need proximity to information. There's something you don't know or someone you don't know that can help you see something differently, think differently. There may be a set of activities you're doing day to day. You have no knowledge of knowing, even if, here's another thing I like to talk about with my team. The right activities. How do you know day to day if you're even doing the right activities? Mm-hmm. Like, I have a desire to be somewhere. I have an end goal I'm trying to get to. And the ignorance is I don't know the gap between where I'm at and where I want to go. I don't know all of the steps, the micro steps and the nuances to get to this end goal. Whether it's a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year goal. I don't know all the steps. I know I'm on a path. But every day you are actually manifesting a set of activities. There are things you're doing day to day, decisions you're making day to day. And you have no reference point or anybody that can look at your day and help you audit those activities. You could spend all of this year doing the wrong activity. And then now we get into 2027. It's like, well, I didn't get where I want to get to. I didn't get the kind of money I want. I didn't get the kind of whatever it is, how do I assess my activities? So that's another way to think about the ignorance. It's like, I'm probably not as aware of what I need to be doing. A lot of people in our families and our friend groups are not sometimes the best reference points because they're not necessarily aiming the same way we're aiming. So if you're looking around at your network or your initial friend group, they may actually be okay with you where you're at. You don't really have anything to really challenge. You don't feel a challenge day to day to step up to a better set of activities or decisions because nobody's auditing you, nobody's checking you. So I would say, I talk about these 3 M's too. Mindset. Okay. It's about one mindset. How you're thinking. What are you thinking about? What is your curiosity? What books are you reading? What are you placing yourself around in terms of proximity? How are you using Chat GPT? Please use this AI and stop.
What about the people who are afraid of utilizing the tools of AI?
Well, I mean, you got to decide for yourself if you want to be a part of where society is already heading or you want to be left behind. It's like the fear factor. It's almost like I'm afraid of using AI, but you're online every day giving people your life in social media. Like, what makes you think that whatever you're doing on AI is going to be the deal breaker in terms of your privacy? Like, we're already exposed. Every time you walk out the door, they're hidden cameras and satellites everywhere. Society knows where you're going. It has your bank account, your social security number. Like, what are you afraid of? And so I would say, of course, be smart about using it. I wouldn't give it like confidential information or like my social security number, banking information. But just in terms of like goals and decisions I'm trying to make, I mean, don't use it if you don't want to. Like, go ahead and be one of them ones. Exactly. Be out here messing around, not using it. And we'll look up in 2 years, you'll be like, okay, so that's on you. But one, definitely mindset. Mindset, the curiosity. Like, I know I can play bigger. I need to be playing bigger. Like, I got to get around from around these people, these small-minded people. I love y'all. We'll go get some hot wings and fries. I'll see y'all on Sunday at church. Love you, but I got to get around some people who want to play bigger. Yeah. I got to be around some people who want to think bigger. That's one.
Before you go to 2, proximity. We're talking proximity. Yeah. Getting around people.
Right.
What about the introvert, man?
I'm an introvert.
Okay, so there are many introverts who's like, yo, I'm not going to a network meeting.
Right.
I don't want to get on a phone call with folk.
Right.
How do we move through that?
Help us. So there's a book that I have. I haven't even read the book, but I bought it. It's called The Introvert Entrepreneur. I haven't read it yet, but I bought it a while back. So that's a good question. There are different degrees of introversion. Like, I'm an introvert in that I like time to sit and I'm a soaker. I like to soak by myself. I like to kind of process and think, and my curiosity a lot of times happens in private. I'm not the biggest networking guy. I've been around a lot of spaces. I'm not like a small talk person. I'm not like, I go to networking events. Like, I'm not a socialite. I'm not like a running around talking to 100 people. But I meet people. I think you really have to know yourself, know your worth. One, like, okay, this is who I am, and I'm okay with, maybe I'll go to 1 or 2 events, but I'm be very intentional about the places I go. That might be a thing. Or maybe it's online. I'm going to join some online mastermind groups. I've actually joined some paid mastermind groups online and connected with people that way. Maybe I'm going to join some Facebook groups. So just getting maybe there's some online communities I may want to be a part of. Maybe, like I said before, proximity. Maybe I don't want to interact with no humans. I just am going to go on YouTube and I'm going to find people talking about what I care about, and I'm going to follow their channels and glean from them until I get everything they got to say.
Yep.
And I'm going to just go, I'm going to go in, I'm living in YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, finding my core 5 or 10 people who are in my lane trying to catch planes like me. I'm about to hop in on that. Or I'm going to go back to this Chat GPT, and that's finna be my BFF. I'm finna Chat GPT this thing, and me and Chat finna go in. I don't have to feel embarrassed or weird because I have. So there are levels. There are levels to it in the introversion where you can still play bigger and position yourself.
No excuses.
No, there's never an excuse.
No excuses.
So even if you give an excuse, so even if there is an excuse that you are giving, on the other side of that excuse is a way. There is a path. Even though that excuse may feel like a roadblock, there is a way. There is another way, you know. So people, we all have excuses that we give, but beyond the excuse, there is a way you can do it.
Beyond excuse, there is a way.
So mindset.
Let's hit number 2.
Number 2 is a mastermind. So we talk about mindset being number 1. Number 2 is mastermind. You know, a lot of times I think, I was telling my chief of staff this a couple of months ago, because I said coming in 2026, I actually want to be more intentional as an introvert, professed introvert. I tell people I'm an introvert I'm an introvert when you meet me, and I'm an extrovert once you know me.
Yeah.
That's how, I think that's like an ambivert or something. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff.
Omni,
all this.
All that.
Know.
Yeah.
So mastermind, I have never been truly intentional about building my network. I just have built a network vicariously and organically through my movement throughout my life and career. But being intentional around who do I want to be in close proximity to me that is about helping me get to where I'm trying to get to in life and in my career, and just being intentional about investing in those relationships. That's something I'm doing even more so as I move into actually my 40s. I want to be more intentional about cultivating and investing and empowering my actual network, building a network. And so mastermind is, who are those 2 or 3 people, 3 to 5 people that you have decided to lock arms with on this journey that's going to be there to be that proximity partner, to help you audit your activities, your day and your time. Who's there checking in on you and checking you? Check in and check on and tough. Check me. I need you to be checking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on, bro? You can't be like, you exercising? When last time you went to the gym? I thought you said you were working out this year. Nope. Cut off this phone. Get off this phone. I need you to send me a pic in the next 30 minutes, you at the gym working out. We said what we said. Yeah. Like, somebody's going to hold you to the fire, to your potential. Somebody else who is playing bigger that also needs you to play bigger. Because they don't want to be in proximity to small-minded people either. I'm rocking with you because you're playing bigger. You know, so I think that mastermind group, you can form one or you can join one. It's either or. You can create your own or you can join one. And sometimes they come with a cost. Some mastermind groups you got to pay to play to be a part of. But others you can create on your own. So that's just a decision to be made. I have created mastermind groups. I have joined mastermind groups, some that were organic and free, some that were paid, you know. And so it's not necessarily that you got to do this one time in your life and that's it. You may decide, okay, I'm in this season, I'm in this mastermind group over here because I want to learn about private equities. I'm trying to get around people doing that or whatever it is. I think you have to have a peer group of people who are in close proximity that can hold you to the fire, that can hold you accountable. That's that second M. You got mindset, you got mastermind. This third M is you have to have mentors. You have to have somebody who is further along than you. That's right. That's not a peer. Yep. They got to be where you want to be because they're going to help close that gap to ignorance. They're going to help close that ignorance gap because they already have done the right activities. They can look back to you and say, nah, boo, I can tell you right now, you going on this. Matter of fact, one of my good friends, we had a good conversation about the creative agencies, the creative agency industry that we're in. And he and I were just having some serious conversations like, man, I'm just telling you now, like, your industry is under attack, digital, all this kind of stuff. Like, we are in the digital transformation space, so we help companies do this. But with AI coming in a couple of years, it will do a lot of these things. So we're using AI, we're using these tools to help our clients. We're helping build AI systems for our clients. But me and him were just having this conversation around, like, because I want to scale Fourth Park and sell it. And so we were having a conversation around, like, what's the probability of selling these type of firms in today's climate? Like, let's have a real conversation around how you're going to have to reposition this firm.
Good. You
got to get out of the creative stuff, and you got to get over into thinking about what type of companies value these type of services. You got to start using, so I've been doing this for a couple of years, but you have to start using different language. Like, we don't say we'll build your website. We don't say those kind of terms anymore. We talk about building an actual web systems, like system design, system architecture. How do we build out your entire digital presence framework? We don't talk about like, we need to get some copy to build your web page. We need content so we can structure your content architecture. Language matters, you know. So when you're using marketplace terminology in your field, it positions you differently. You know, sometimes even if you're selling the same thing, just the way you talk about it, the perception of it can change. So, you know, that conversation, even with him, was just like, let's have a real conversation, because I'm further down the road than you are. So I can tell you, if you keep going about it this way, you not only will you probably not be able to sell this in a couple of years, I'd be surprised even if it can still thrive.
Wow. So
you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to make a serious pivot. You know, so having those kind of mentors that are further down the road that can give you that honest feedback, because you're clumsy. Otherwise, you just kind of stumble on. And your peer group, your mastermind group may not have some of those answers because they're not further than you. Y'all, we're peers. We're holding each other accountable. We're holding each other to the fire. I need somebody that's down the road that can like, let me bring you over here and tell you, you got to clean it up. You got to start investing in some sports blazers when you get into these meetings. You're going to have to start like deciding how you're going to be speaking when you talk in front of people. You got to start thinking about your presentation. Because if you're going to be going into these bigger rooms and playing bigger, your presentation has to evolve. You're not just the black boy from Albany, Georgia anymore. You're preparing to become a mogul. So what that looks like is you got to evolve. You have to think bigger and play bigger.
How should somebody go about evolving even how they communicate for these types of rooms?
Ooh, child, man. Some of that is, I'm like I'm saying, I'm curious. I'm watching Robert Smith in his interviews. I'm watching how people are talking and presenting themselves. I'm watching how many times they say, I'm watching the cadence, the flow, the use of words. I learned this stuff too in church, because some of the greatest communicators are pastors. I think you're a phenomenal speaker. Like, I watch you when you speak in your videos. I'm like, Brian is like even just how you maneuver through, like, I'm like, I see it. Some people have to learn that. Some people just have that gift of like being able to articulate, to be able to take a thought and translate it with emotion and like vitality. That's a skill set. So I think it's just that curiosity. It's like, okay, when I grew up from Albany, small city Albany, I came to Atlanta with the baggy Dickies and the baggy tee. I still have my pictures at Georgia State my freshman year. I had the do-rag on.
Yes, sir.
I had braces. Sir. I'm like, I have evolved, and that evolution is a continuum. It's always going on. Like, there's always I believe that there are infinite versions of yourself. There are versions of yourself you'll never manifest and experience.
Wow.
There's an infinity of you. You know, you can literally, there's so much evolution possible. This gets into like my mission statement, which is like awakening possibility. There's so much untapped possibility. You won't be able to manifest it all in your lifetime. It would take lifetimes to pull out all the worlds inside of us. Like, we are kingdom citizens. We're God creatures. We're God country. We're God design. We're just trapped in these physical vessels to live out things in this time frame. But we're so much more of an eternal being than we even understand. And so that evolution for me is just ongoing. So for me, it's like how I'm even presenting myself in this time. Like, I'm listening to myself in real time as I'm talking. I'm actually catching moments where I'm like stumbling over words or I'm talking too fast. I'm actually thinking about it as I'm having this moment with you. So like, I'm even training myself.
Come on, man.
I'm trying to train to catch planes. It's a nonstop game.
Come on, man.
What is the plane doing? It's always elevating. It's moving upwards. An upward trajectory is leverage. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a training. I'm training the mind. I'm training my will. I'm training my character. I'm training my thoughts. You know, it's a nonstop game. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And you spit some bars right there, brother. You know, shout out. You gave an analogy of training to catch this plane. Come on, man. Let's get it, brother. I want to kind of step back into that activities audit because apparently, you know, of course, you've described this concept to us.
Right.
This is a concept that closes the gap from
Right.
where we are to where we want to be.
Right.
What does that look like in your life practically?
Right.
As far as your activities audit.
Right. Yep. Got some stuff I can say about that. So a couple of things. One, there's a couple of things that I do. I'm going to tell you the thing I do at the end of the year. Every December, I've been doing this now for 10 years. I don't know if last year was the 10th year. I do a year in review. I literally audit my entire year. And I have a set of about 20 questions that I always answer those questions. And it's basically like, what were your biggest accomplishments? Why did you accomplish your goals? Why didn't you? What 3 things you need to stop doing? What 3 things you need to start doing? I also, in that review, I set my goals for the new year. So that to me is a thing. So like, how do I know where I am year over year? That document is something that I do. I take that last month to kind of go inward, reflect, and I use those 30 days to kind of work through my year and prepare for the next year. That's one thing that I do. Another thing that I do, I have what I call an ideal week map.
Okay.
So it's basically, I took a spreadsheet and just built out my week. Like on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, here are the general activities that I am doing throughout my day. Like I have these blocks of time. And of course, I'm not following it every day. Like it's a goal of mine to have my life look more like my week map. That's a goal. It's not achievable week over week because I'm doing different things each week. Stuff comes up. Life is sporadic. But to have an ideal week map that I am aspiring towards, I see how my days should flow. And then I can assess and change that throughout the week or throughout the month. I can go back and assess my week map. Like, okay, how am I doing? That's the second thing I do. The next thing that I do or that I've done that is, I think, the most important is defining your KPIs and your IPAs. Your KPIs are your key performance indicators. A key performance indicator is basically the same thing. What is the actual task, what is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 indicators that I am performing? Like I did the day's work. I gave the day its best shot because I did my 3, or 4 KPIs for the day. It could be something as simple as every day I empty my email inbox and I make sure it's at 0. It could be every day I spend at least 30 minutes following up because a lot of us fail at follow-ups and there is finances locked up in the follow-up. We meet people all day long and we don't follow up. We don't be checking back in on folks.
Boy, you preaching.
Let me tell you, I'm so serious about this network building phase of my life. I actually have a visual board. I use this tool called Mural. I think it's mural.co or mural.com. They have a free version you can use where you can literally paste in a person's LinkedIn URL and it'll build out a card with their profile pic. And so I literally am pulling all these people's LinkedIn into my board, and I have like need to contact, waiting on response, meeting scheduled, activated, like literally. And I'm moving these humans left and right as I'm scheduling meetings. So literally, even for me, like I'll meet somebody and usually back in the day, it's like I got this business card. Now it's like, I'm about to add you to LinkedIn, add you on LinkedIn. I'm about to drop you into my board and your card is going to be right over here need to contact. I need to contact Samantha. I met her at this event. And then now I'm moving my board a lot better. And so I'm doing more meetings in the last, I'd even say in the last 6 months, I've been doing more meetings. I'm even more strategic about my meetings and my follow-up. So that follow-up game is so real. So like, those are like KPIs, key performance indicators. This other thing, IPAs, is your income producing activities.
Come on.
So so income producing activities are a type of KPI, but they're specific to revenue. Because you can have KPIs that you do day to day that are not directly tied to revenue. You should know day to day, week to week, specifically, what do I do that is directly connected to money generation. So follow-ups is a big one, especially if I know I have a couple of clients that are kind of in the gray. I need to be making sure that I keep that list of potential clients on speed dial. I need to make sure I'm following up and checking in with them, not, harassing them, but I got to make sure I don't lose sight of that. Another like IPA that's like simple is like making sure that when the business closes, I get the invoice out. Like invoicing, do your invoicing, get your invoicing done. Make sure that you get the payment process.
Get the invoice over.
Right. Another like income producing activity that I'm doing is like, so for example, I'm going to more high level conferences because there are decision makers in these rooms who I wouldn't be able to access through social media per se. So like I could try to bleed through, get through them through social media, but I'm fighting so many people. But if I pay a couple $100 to get to this conference and I know that there's going to be several people in private equity there or venture capital, execs there, this is a great opportunity for me to go face to face, exchange a card, get you on my LinkedIn. I'm finna move you on this list. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's just certain activities that's like, another KPI is just like, health, your fitness, making sure that you're eating, so for example, like every Tuesday I go grocery shopping at Whole Foods because there's certain discounts I get. Like I specifically make sure I shop on a Tuesday. So I think everybody's KPIs can look different. And you should have KPIs, but you should definitely have IPAs. You should definitely know what activities that you do day to day that generate revenue for you, and yeah. So that was a lot, but there's real systems behind it.
No, for sure. Okay, man, listen, I could keep you here all night.
Oh, yeah.
I won't keep you here all night, right? I'm just going to kind of shoot a few out to you right now.
Okay.
You talk about owner versus operator, or being an operator in your business versus an owner.
Yeah.
How do we flip that switch?
Ooh, that's a good question. Man, how do you flip that switch? I think, well, the way that I've done it, or am even still doing it, is as an operator, you're head down in the workload because there's so much work to be done, and sometimes you're perfecting I won't say that you are perfecting the system because you're doing the work, but the way you flip it to me is that you have to step back from the operation and look at the actual systems and workflows that you're completing and define and map them out. Like I literally have written down like project management. This is what we do from the time a client interfaces with us to the time we're done. Like I literally was writing this. What am I doing every day? This goes back to those like activities. I'm doing some sequence of a thing the same way. I'm rinsing and repeating the same process. I need to write this down and write all of them down. And at some point, there's enough for me to package together in terms of systems and workflows that I can hand this over to somebody else to do it. So I might not be able to do this on day one. Okay, I'm doing this myself. I'm working in it. I'm churning in it every day, but I'm getting the systems down of what I'm doing. So I see that. Now I'm trying to find me, what's the next easiest way I can get another person in this that I can take this off of me, whether it's an intern or a family member, a friend. If you have enough to hire, I'll bring on I'll W-9 somebody in a heartbeat. Like, come on in here, fill this out, add your bank account. Like, let me get you set up. I found a lot of people that we've brought on at Fourth Park over the years that we contract with. I found on Upwork.com, just finding great talent, interviewing people. I just need to see that you can deliver the work. I got a system that I do. Can you take the system on and do it? And, I figure out my spread so that you get your cut, we get ours, and there's margin, for us to be able to make money and make revenue. I think it's, I'm giving you a little more detail in terms of like what it looks like to start turning it over. Another good point is sometimes you are one hire away from unlocking freedom.
Wow.
A lot of times we don't even know what's the most important role that can set you free to work on this thing and not be so caught up in it. And like for me, it was a project manager. I didn't realize that because I can find graphic designers and people that can do the creative work. That came easy, but the ability to manage and steward the project and the client, that nuance and that like spirit animal, I just was like, can't nobody do this but me.
There it is.
And I'm just like, that's the problem. Wherever you thinking somebody can't do it, that's a lie from the pit of hell. So there's somebody out here that can do it better than you, smarter than you, more efficient than you, so that you can step away and actually grow the thing. And so for me, he's not our chief of staff. I actually brought him on as an executive assistant of mine. Just help me. And then we moved from that to he was project manager. Then I upgraded him from that to account manager. Now he's chief of staff. He technically runs for the park day to day. So that's what I think. I think is that. And the last thing I'll say too, on like a more grand level, a more macro level, is start looking and finding people who are operating or functioning more as an owner than operator, and look at how they're moving. Look at the decisions they're making. I like studying people who are doing it, who are like, okay, I'm watching people who go out there buying 3, 4, 5 agencies and bundling in. It's like, they ain't got time. They're not like Gary Vaynerchuk is not involved in the day-to-day of VaynerMedia. They're a $100+ million firm. They were one of the fastest growing advertising firms in American history, I think, at one point. It was like he was growing this thing so fast, and he's putting right people in the right seats.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Putting right people in the right seats on the plane.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to make sure this plane get to where it need to go. I'm flying the plane. Eventually, I'm not even flying the plane.
Not even
I got 40 planes in the air.
Come on,
They're
man.
just going. They going. I'm somewhere overseas trying to close a deal to buy an airport.
That's it.
That we talk about playing bigger. That's what we talking about. Like this, the levels to it. You know, it's like 1 minute you just glad to be a flight attendant on the plane. The next minute you are buying airports, and you got a whole fleet of planes.
Come on, man.
You know, you broker and deal with private equity to buy out another airplane line. You know, so
wow,
there's levels to it, man. And I'll say this too, and I'll shut up on this part.
No, you're good.
My heart desire for our people, for our community, is that we would start being curious about these levels of the game. That I would rather we be failing at starting private equity firms, VC firms, you know, private capital. It's like, I think we should be more involved in the financial markets and the financial institutions than we are as operators of small businesses with products and services. Like, we need to become not just entrepreneurs, but the actual financiers. I think we need more of us on that other side, because that's really the power of society. That's the power of that's true economics at the highest level. That's why we are at war with Iran in this moment. Like, all this stuff is happening because it's about control of resources at the highest level. And what's buying that? These large firms, all this capital being moved around in all these industries. We're not even involved in those kind of conversations, because we don't even.
What's our barrier?
Ooh, man, I think at this point, what I love about us, I think our barrier is just time. We're breaking out. I feel like maybe in 15 years ago, it was more about like, oh, we think it too small, we ain't whatever. I think there are more of us that are seriously generational curse breakers. I think there are more of us in this day and age who are seriously advancing the ball. We just need more time. I remember when I started my previous company, Spendify, which I still own. It was a tech company we started to bring awareness to Black-owned businesses. And we scaled that thing with literally, we were bootstrapping it with nothing. Me and my former business partner, we built a small team. We got all the way to CNN. We were Black Enterprise. I mean, we were all over the place. We scaled. We were in like 10 cities. Thousands and thousands. I have tens of thousands of Black businesses in spreadsheets, because they were just sending us their businesses like, add us. We couldn't raise a seed round. All of this growth and potential to scale. We went to California. We went to New York. We went around Atlanta trying to get a seed round to sustain us so that we could scale this thing.
For the audience, what is a seed round? A
seed round is an initial investment when you're in a startup. Let's say you start a business. A seed round is that first round of money that you get to help you grow. And usually you're giving up some level of equity or ownership of your business. You're like, okay, maybe, I need $100,000. I give you 10% of the company. That actually values your company at $1 million if you do that. So we were trying to get a seed round, and we were just trying to raise an initial round. We ended up doing it with family and friends through crowdfunding. We didn't hit our goal. It gave us a longer run rate. But my point is, during those years of 2015, 16, 17, only 2% of venture capital went to minority-owned businesses.
Wow.
Minority includes white women. And all women of all races, and all races but white men, and all men of all races but white men. So literally 98% of all VC capital during that time, 98% were going specifically to only white males. Minorities included white women, and then all the rest of us.
Wow.
So it was a struggle.
So the rest of us is a very minute.
Yeah. Yeah,
that.
we were fighting over 2%.
Yeah.
You know, so they were throwing money around, VCs throwing money around in Silicon Valley to these guys launching apps like Angry Birds. Angry Birds was a success, but thousands of Angry Birds knockoffs getting funded tens and hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars just to play around with apps and fail. Who cares? It's just like, it is what it is. Try, John. Try. You know, here's some money to try and figure it out. You know, so we got a real use case and couldn't get any capital. But what I'm trying to say is now, 2026, when you search, there are many Black-owned, Black-led, Black-funded venture capital firms. That Forbes 50 list is evidence of where we are now. Now we got more leaders and execs that are doing private equity that are in these other spaces. So for me, I think it's just time. We need more time to see more of us in those spaces. We need more time for our funds to grow. We need more time for our investments to become billion-dollar companies. You know, so I think time is probably the biggest thing, and then I think too is just the typical thing. I think is just more of a play bigger mentality. I just think we need more of us aiming for bigger Goliaths.
Come on,
more of us with that slingshot and them 3 rocks, and we looking for the neck of the large. We need to be going after bigger whales. We need to be having bigger conversations. I went to a real estate conference 2 weeks ago in Palm Beach. This is where Trump's Mar-a-Lago is at, and Palm Beach is a community of about 8,000 people. And in Palm Beach, there are, I Googled it, there are 60 to 70 billionaires that have homes there. It's a high concentration, high density of super high network individuals. And we were at the Breakers Hotel, which is like a gathering spot of like, I mean, it's it's a resort. The hotel is just amazing.
Wow. And
I'm just in this space meeting with all these different people in the real estate sector. And these are developers. These are guys who are like oligarchs in real estate who have 20 and 30, 40,000 units under management. We talking hundreds of properties that they're managing, billions of dollars worth of real estate that they've developed, or they have assets under management. Like, this is like you're meeting these people. And I think some of it is just knowing that you belong in all rooms. Just decide, I don't care what the room is.
Wow.
I belong there. Why? I fought billions of sperm to get here, one.
Yeah.
Number two, I showed up. That meant I am an answered prayer. Like, I believe all of us are here because somebody prayed us into existence. You are an answer to a problem. You're here because you were designed by law, like God, by governance of law. You showing up on the earth is not a casualty. It's not just some random event that your mom and dad had. You know what I'm saying? Like you, and then you know how many billions and trillions of sperm you have to go through, you know? So to be the one that gets to the egg and fertilize, you made it here. That event alone is trailblazing.
Come on.
Just that phenomenon, the science of that alone. Whatever the room is, I don't care what room it is, I am in the room. I'm not in the room yet in physical manifestation, but in the spirit realm, I'm a part of all rooms. Just watch. Give me time. Just give me some time. Give me some bandwidth. You know what I'm saying? Just when you start walking from that level of authority, from that level of kingdom mandate, that level of kingdom assignment, the Bible says the kingdom of God suffers violence, but the violent, the kingdom citizens, we take it by force. We take back everything the enemy has stolen. We're always advancing God's ideas. We're advancing his kingdom idea. And it's even for people who aren't even like Christian bound. I think these principles can still work. It works better if you're on the kingdom side because you get heaven backing you. You know what I'm saying? Whatsoever you bind on earth becomes bound. And that's one of my favorite scriptures. Let me tell you one of my favorite.
Come on, man.
Whatsoever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatsoever you, like, I'm not asking heaven. I decide what it will be. It is Ashe and Amen. Whatsoever I declare, my Father backs me up. So what am I talking about? Like playing bigger, wide. What are we doing here? That's all we should be doing. All we should be doing is aiming. I'm going to the highest level. This is a video game. I'm in a simulation. I'm about to go all out, balls to the wall. Because when it's all done, I'm going back to my daddy anyway. Come on. While I'm on this earth, man, I'm about to tear this thing up. What are we doing here, Brian? You know, so I think that heartbeat, just more of us moving from that place, and then we go out into the marketplace with intelligence, with precision, with accuracy, with confidence, with autonomy, with sovereignty. And that's another word. That's one of my favorite words. Sovereignty. With sovereignty, to be able to move with that unbothered, you know what I'm saying? Aware of who you are, aware of your mandate, and just being willing to allow God to show up and manifest through you, being willing to push against your ignorance, being willing to play bigger, not even worrying with fear, just deciding in any room I'll show up in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it shall be and it is so, I say and amen. Like that kind of thing, moving that kind of authority. Just more of us moving at that vibration, that kind of vibrational awareness. That's what I think is needed, beyond just time. More time with that. Give us a couple more years of us doing more of us doing more of that. Like what Trump is doing, like, okay, great. I'm here. Mm-hmm. Eyes have not seen. Mm-hmm. Ears have not heard. It hasn't even been into the hearts of men what God has in store. Time is still upon us. It ain't over yet. It ain't over yet. Don't get weary. Don't get weary. Don't get weary. Don't get weary. Oh my God, whatever. Don't get weary. Like, what are you talking about? He's already won. Like, the end has already been decided. Play the game.
Come on, man. Play the game.
Get in the game and go. Run that ball and go. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You out here bothered by this mamsy-pamsy. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing? You out here bothered. You afraid. You intimidated. I'm an introvert. All right. What are we doing? Mm-hmm. Come on, people. So just more of that. That joyous celebration. That joyous dance. That, you know what I'm saying? Whom shall I fear? Woo! Help us. Help us.
Brother, listen. If you're on the other side of this camera and you're not ready to run through a wall at this point, understanding who you are, whose you are, what's on the inside of you, and what you can accomplish just because of, you need to rewind. Brother.
Whew.
Amazing.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. This was good.
This is why I consider you the thought leader that you are. This is why I consider you the inspiration that you are. You're one of a kind, brother. Just as you showed us all that we are.
Yeah.
We are all one of a kind.
Amen.
And that is what you just solidified today.
Amen.
That's good, man. Like, yeah, we can keep going. Hey, this brother on fire, right?
Yeah.
That was good, man. So, okay, Antwon, as we wrap, I'm full. I've been set ablaze during this conversation, man. So just knowledgeable, so affirming. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming, man. For the people who want to contact you, want to reach out, want to maybe possibly work with you, even partner with you, how do people contact Antwon Davis? Good
question. I am Antwon Davis everywhere online. So if you Google me, it's ANTWON. I like to tell people I'm the ant that won. So corny, but I'm the ant.
It works.
It is what it is. It is so. Antwon Davis, Davis. So you can Google me. My website is up, AntwonDavis.com. I am working on a new website that I'll be launching soon. But same on social. I'm at Antwon Davis across everything. And if you just want to reach, you can DM me, send me a message on my website. Either way, I can follow up.
Very nice, man. Again, thank you guys. Reach out to Antwon, man. This is a brother that you definitely want to be connected to. This is a brother that you definitely want in your Rolodex. And you just want to definitely be able to follow his journey. Listen, guys, this has been another episode of Pilot Talks with Train to Catch Planes. And this episode, of course, sponsored by Train to Catch Planes, where we specialize in video production, podcast production, and social media content creation. Come on over here where we can put a system around you. Our media acceleration system helps you position your brand and leverage your content on your platform. Why? To bring your client to you. All right. So if you or anyone you know needs that, who doesn't need that?
Right.
Come holler at us, man. Train to Catch Planes. Thank you, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Ah, my God. What? In today's world, your brand isn't just what you do. It's how you're remembered. And the strongest brands don't just sell. they connect. That connection begins with the story you tell. At Train to Catch Planes, we specialize in premium video and audio podcast production that gives your voice clarity and presence. Our brand storytelling uses filmmaking techniques to capture emotion, depth, and the why behind what you do. And our social media content creation positions you as the leader in your industry, the voice people trust, follow, and remember. This isn't just production. It's legacy in motion. It's your vision. It's your voice. It's your time to take flight.
Train to Catch Planes is an amazing experience. It's not just the atmosphere, but the customer service, the way that the team leads and guides you. If you come in here not necessarily knowing where to start, how to do certain things, their guidance is unmatched.
The direction of Brian, his creativity, you don't even have to tell him what to do, okay? In the editing, all of it is youthful, it's trending.
Let me tell y'all right now, if you don't know about this spot, it is a premier spot in Metro Atlanta with all the needs, the necessities, the equipment, the cameras, the lights, the action. It's right here at Train to Catch Planes.